with a left quad strain. Clark reported some pain in her leg Saturday after the team's loss to the New York Liberty. She subsequently underwent an MRI and was diagnosed with the strain on Monday. Clark was the WNBA's Rookie of the Year last season and a first-team All-WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points and a league-leading 9.3 assists through 4 games this season. I could give a damn about that last part. I don't care about her leading the league in assists. I don't care about the points that she's averaging because I already know that the young lady can ball.
Caitlin Clark's injury absence serves as a critical wake-up call for WNBA stakeholders, demonstrating the league's dangerous dependency on a single athlete for economic viability. The minimum 2-week absence, potentially extending to 6 weeks, threatens to unravel the unprecedented growth experienced throughout the current season. Financial analysis reveals Clark's overwhelming economic influence, accounting for 26.5% of all WNBA revenue activity, including merchandise sales, ticket purchases, and television viewership. Professor Brewer's projections suggest Clark's continued momentum through an expanded 2025 season could generate $87 to $5 million in economic impact, potentially exceeding $1 billion with sustained fan engagement.
She is special. What I'm interested in is what somebody tweeted me and asked about earlier today that I want to show you right now. Put this tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I, right? Stephen A. Smith, can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out? End quote. My answer would be yes. I'm not going to summarily dismiss.
These projections carry significant weight given Brewer's credentials as a renowned financial professor specializing in valuation analysis. The figures represent legitimate academic assessment rather than speculative commentary, making Clark's absence particularly concerning for league financial planning. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, Players Association leadership, and team ownership groups face immediate recalibration of collective bargaining expectation. The timing creates leverage shifts favoring ownership positions heading into crucial contract negotiations as projected revenue streams suddenly appear vulnerable.
The WNBA, it's growing popularity. Some of the athletes that they have in there, I mean, Asia Wilson, come on now. I mean, it really starts with her. We all know what she brings to the table. Brown and Stewart and others, we see what this league has available to itself and what it's maintained. We get that part. But I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain.
Attendance figures demonstrate Clark's magnetic appeal across venue types. Washington Mystics relocated to a 14,000-seat arena while Chicago Sky moved to an 18,000-capacity facility, anticipating sellout crowds for Clark appearances. Without her presence, projected attendance drops to 8,000, 9,000 for Mystics games and 10,000, 12,000 for Sky contests. Reduced attendance creates cascading financial effects throughout game day operations. Fewer attendees translate to decreased merchandise purchases, concession sales, and ancillary revenue streams that teams rely upon for profitability. Ownership groups who invested in larger venues specifically to capitalize on Clark's drawing power face immediate losses.
And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's through no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balls. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing.
International travel patterns reveal Clark's global appeal, extending far beyond domestic markets. European, Australian, and Asian fans regularly arrange extended trips centered around her appearances, booking hotels, restaurants, and tourist activities that benefit entire metropolitan areas. These international visitors represent premium spending demographics that local economies depend upon during game weekends. Ticket pricing structures reflect market demand dynamics tied directly to Clark's participation. Premium seats commanding $300 to $500 price points drop to $100 to $200 $300 ranges, while courtside locations decrease from $1,000 to $600 or lower depending on game proximity. Secondary market activity shows extensive ticket dumping as fans attempt to recoup investments made assuming Clark's availability.
Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here.
Hotel industry impacts extend beyond game attendees to include media personnel, visiting team staff, and tourism spillover effects. Properties that raised rates anticipating sold-out arenas now face cancellation waves and revenue shortfalls that affect broader hospitality sectors and hosting markets. Television ratings present the most quantifiable measurement of Clark's individual influence. Her previous appearance against Atlanta Dream on NBA TV generated 59 million viewers despite competing against NBA playoff programming. Wednesday's game without Clark projects to attract approximately 350,000 viewers, representing nearly 50% audience decline.
And y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up. Who cares? If you're Magic and Bird, that didn't stop Jordan from coming along and doing what he did.
Chicago Sky matchups historically demonstrate escalating viewership patterns throughout seasonal series. Last year's progression from 1.5 million to 2.3 million viewers suggested similar growth potential for current season encounters. The initial Sky Fever meeting drew 2.7 million viewers, with subsequent games projected to reach 3.1-3.5 million before Clark's injury disrupted the trajectory. Expected viewership for the upcoming Sky Game projects around 1.25-1.5 million, maintaining respectable numbers due to established fan investment in short-term absence scenarios. However, this represents substantial decline from potential 3+ million audience that advertisers anticipated when purchasing commercial slots.
Over the years that followed, it didn't stop the Vince Carters of the world, the Allen Iversons of the world, the Shaq Diesel, Shaquille O'Neals of the world, the Hakeem Olajuwons of the world, the Charles Barkleys of the world. Not necessarily in that order, of course, because he came before all of those guys that I mentioned. How about a Vince Carter? How about a Kobe Bryant?
Advertising revenue becomes particularly problematic when contracted viewership expectations fail to materialize. Companies investing $3 million for prime commercial placement during anticipated 3 million viewer broadcasts face significant value losses when actual audiences drop to 500,000, 750,000 ranges. WNBA lacks sufficient star power to implement flexible scheduling that could substitute alternative compelling matchups. Unlike NBA's ability to showcase different superstars when marquee players face injuries, the Women's League depends almost exclusively on Clark's unique appeal for premium television programming.
It didn't stop them. The fact of the matter is that it has to start somewhere. And if it starts somewhere, a rising tide lifts all boats. You jump on that tide, you jump on that boat and elevate and use them to elevate your play or to elevate the attention you garner. It's very simple, but people didn't want to do that. There was a lot of people that didn't want to do that. Let's call it what it is. I ain't going to mention no names.
League programming decisions must maintain Fever games in prominent television slots, despite Clark's absence, as the franchise name association alone generates superior ratings compared to alternative team combinations. This reality underscores the organization's limited depth of nationally recognizable personalities. Ownership groups face complex financial calculations regarding recent arena expansions and capacity investments. While larger venues create potential losses during Clark's absence, these same owners gain negotiating leverage in upcoming collective bargaining discussions where player salary expectations may require adjustment based on revised revenue projections.
But y'all know who they are. And they didn't want to do that. And I'm not talking about players and just players. Talk about announcers too. Talk about pundits as well. There's a whole bunch of people that didn't want to give Caitlin Clark her shine. But let me go over some of these numbers just to remind y'all of what this young sister brought to the table.
Historical comparisons to previous WNBA injuries, including Diana Taurasi's absences, lack relevance given Clark's unprecedented mainstream appeal. The league has never previously possessed a genuine crossover superstar capable of attracting casual sports fans and international audiences at Clark's level. Fan behavior analysis suggests different responses to temporary versus permanent absences. 2 to 4 week injuries allow committed viewers to maintain engagement while waiting for return, whereas season-ending situations typically result in complete audience departures until following seasons.
Because we all brothers from another mother and all of that other stuff, and sisters from another mother, and got that. That's why I said that. Let's look at this. Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things. 6 different league television partners. This is last year. This is last season, because this is Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. 6 different league television partners set viewership records that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever?
Projected rating decreases vary by game importance and broadcast platform. Regular season contests on NBA TV may drop to 750,000-800,000 ranges, while premium network broadcasts maintain higher floors due to established promotion and broader channel distribution. The economic disruption extends beyond immediate revenue losses to long-term strategic planning complications. Sponsorship negotiations, facility investments, and expansion discussions all assumed continued Clark-driven growth trajectories that now require fundamental reassessment.
Let it be known that they will not be looking at playback from yesterday's game, which I find that to be kind of eerie, bro. The way they played yesterday, they might want to look at this one, bro. Now, I know they didn't lose before, but hell, the way they played yesterday, you need to look at that one, bro, because you don't want to make the same mistakes twice. Now, if something happened, knock on wood, the Indiana Fever lose like that again,
Players Association representatives face weakened positioning in upcoming negotiations as demonstrable evidence emerges regarding individual star impact on league economics. Salary cap discussions and revenue sharing arrangements must account for concentrated star power rather than distributed league-wide appeal. Local business ecosystems surrounding game venues experience immediate impacts from reduced visitor volume. Restaurants, bars, and entertainment establishments that invested in enhanced capacity and staffing for Clark-driven crowds must rapidly adjust operations for diminished demand periods.
Could it be Stephanie White's fault at that point for not looking at the film to address the situations that went wrong in that set game? Now, we know Caitlin Clark is currently out for a week and a half, with Stephanie White and Lexi Hall has got an update about Caitlin in the press conference they did today, but I just find it to be real eerie that they did not look at playback from that game, bro. That was a horrible game, and you definitely want to fix the kinks that you have in your basketball team, bro. That is horrendous.
Recovery timelines become crucial for maintaining advertiser confidence and season-long engagement patterns. Extended absences risk permanent audience departures as casual fans redirect attention to alternative entertainment options rather than maintaining patience for eventual returns. The situation demonstrates professional sports' vulnerability to individual star dependency, while simultaneously proving Clark's extraordinary value proposition for league stakeholders. Her absence creates immediate crisis, but also validates arguments for maximum investment in star player retention and development strategies.
Let's check out this podcast. Let's check out this press conference, because this was bad, guys. I ain't gonna hold you. This was really, really bad.
Mentioned you guys didn't watch practice from last night's game and you want to turn the page. Just what was the message to people?
Yeah, we'll watch that individually and in small groups. We wanted to take the time today. On these short turnarounds, it's hard to do both.
Individually in small groups.
Indiana Fever's coaching staff made controversial decisions following their disappointing performance against Washington Mystics, choosing to forego traditional team film review sessions in favor of individual and small group analysis. This approach has sparked debate about optimal preparation methods during critical team development periods. Head coach Stephanie White announced during practice that the team would not conduct collective film study of the previous night's defeat. Instead, coaching staff planned to address performance issues through segmented review sessions and individual individual player meetings, citing scheduling constraints and player fatigue concerns.
You can't point people out for a loss like that. You got to take that loss as a team. The team lost that game. You can't sit up here and say, we're going to go over this individually. We have to go over this as a team because the team lost the damn game. See, Stephanie White got me lost, man.
Without making it incredibly long days, especially when you get back really late. So
the decision appears unusual given the magnitude of defensive breakdowns and offensive execution problems that characterize the loss. Traditional basketball coaching methodology emphasizes immediate collective review of significant performance failures to prevent repetition and establish corrective measures. White explained the rationale as logistical necessity, noting that short turnaround times between games create challenging schedules when teams return late from road contests. The coaching staff prioritized fresh preparation for upcoming opponents over retrospective analysis of previous failures. However, this approach raises questions about accountability and learning opportunities following one of the season's most disappointing performances. The Mystics game featured numerous systematic breakdowns that typically warrant comprehensive team discussion and strategic adjustment.
So we'll watch them in small groups. We'll watch them, individual film. We gotta grow. We gotta be better. We've got to make sure that we're not making the same mistakes. Sometimes that's defensive coverages. Sometimes that's lapses and being great screeners. Sometimes that's giving shooters passes. It's all about the little things, right? And being detailed oriented, and being able to carry over from one game to the next. So we
During the press conference, White suggested that individual and small group sessions would address specific player responsibilities and positional requirements more effectively than large group meetings. This methodology allows targeted coaching without creating prolonged team meetings that might compound fatigue issues. The coaching staff emphasized transitioning focus toward Connecticut's Sun preparation, rather than dwelling on Washington's defeat. This forward-looking approach aims to maintain team confidence while addressing specific tactical adjustments needed for upcoming competition. White acknowledged multiple areas requiring improvement, adding defensive coverage consistency, screen navigation, and communication breakdowns. These fundamental issues traditionally benefit from collective discussion where players can understand their roles within broader team concepts.
started working on Connecticut today and getting ready for tomorrow.
Steph, is this less about the mentality? Okay, we can't do X, Y, and Z maybe with Caitlin, but what can we do with her? Is that what could the brain you got to switch over in that direction?
Yeah, it is, and how you play. I mean, Caitlin's a player who has the ball in her hands a lot.
See, now
The absence of Clark creates additional complexity for film study sessions, as many defensive and offensive systems require adjustment without the team's primary playmaker. White noted that Clark's ball handling responsibilities and two-man game success with teammates necessitates systematic reorganization. Offensive restructuring becomes particularly challenging without Clark's unique spacing abilities and court vision. The team must develop alternative ball movement patterns and shot creation methods that maximize remaining personnel strengths while minimizing individual limitations. White discussed the need for increased off-ball movement and timing adjustments to compensate for Clark's absence. However, she also acknowledged that excessive off-ball action may have contributed to Clark's injury situation, creating strategic tensions about appropriate tactical emphasis.
Stephanie, we can't do this, man. You cannot say we lost the game because Caitlin hurt, because it seemed like that's what she hitting towards. I can't even lie, bro. Well, if we had Caitlin, we would have won. No, we're not going to play this game, Stephanie. You need to take this L on the chin. Ain't no skip past this. Get ready for Connecticut.
The coach referenced ongoing lineup instability with multiple players entering and exiting rotation due to various circumstances. This constant personnel flux complicates system implementation and makes comprehensive film study potentially more valuable for establishing consistent execution standards. Defensive execution emerged as the primary concern, requiring immediate attention. White emphasized the need for improved on-ball screen coverage, communication protocols, and forcing opponents into less comfortable offensive actions rather than allowing preferred attack patterns. The team's defensive struggles stem partly from inconsistent physicality and allowing opponents excessive freedom in cutting, passing, and movement. White stressed the importance of disrupting offensive rhythm through increased contact and aggressive positioning. Lexi Hull provided additional perspective during the press conference, emphasizing effort and practice quality as foundational elements requiring improvement. She noted that substandard preparation sessions preceded the disappointing Washington performance, suggesting correlation between practice intensity and game execution. Hull stressed the importance of fundamental execution and finding quality scoring opportunities. Without Clark's playmaking presence, the team must identify alternative methods for generating clean looks and maintaining offensive flow against organized defenses. The transition game represents one area where Indiana can create easier scoring chances and three-point opportunities. Hull noted that improved fast break execution could partially compensate for half-court offensive challenges during Clark's absence. Ball movement and interior scoring attempts require increased emphasis to create balanced offensive attack. The team managed only 5 paint shots against Washington, indicating concerning trends toward perimeter-dependent offense without proper inside-outside balance. Player development during this challenging period could provide long-term benefits despite short-term struggles. White suggested that current adversity in May might prove beneficial compared to similar challenges later in the season when playoff positioning becomes crucial. The coaching staff's decision to avoid collective film study reflects broader philosophical questions about team building and accountability methods. While individual instruction provides targeted development opportunities, team unity and shared understanding traditionally require group learning experiences. Strategic preparation time becomes increasingly valuable with compressed schedules and multiple games per week. Coaches must balance retrospective analysis with forward preparation, though most successful programs prioritize learning from significant failures regardless of time constraints. The controversy highlights ongoing questions about coaching effectiveness and adaptation to personnel changes. Critics argue that avoiding comprehensive film review represents missed opportunities for team growth and systematic improvement during crucial development period. Alternative approaches might include abbreviated team sessions focusing on key teaching points without extensive individual breakdown. This compromise could address time constraints while maintaining collective accountability and shared learning experiences necessary for team cohesion and strategic understanding.